Hello and welcome back to a new episode of Grand Tactician The Civil War, where we are playing the Union career mode. Last episode we got promoted to Brigadier General and took command of the 4th Division. We also moved our forces north to protect Washington and had a skirmish with Confederate troops. The forces are still in the area and skirmishes are still ongoing, but so far we couldn't fight a second field battle. Let's hope we can drive them back this episode and turn this war around. And we can see that the 2nd Division is coming up while the 3rd Division is withdrawing further to the south. Maybe with the arrival of the 2nd Division we are able to inflict another field battle. But I guess because of our low readiness we aren't able to perform a field battle. We are now up to 378 disabled soldiers. Due to our field hospital in the area, those casualties are getting slower within the minute and the Army of Virginia is withdrawing further to the northwest. And I think it is a good decision to go on the pursuit. The Army of the Potomac is finally withdrawing north. And I would love it if we could get behind the Army of Virginia and deal the killing blow. Come on, man, it is 8 o'clock. Let's get forward and deal with that. Movement of our unit is extremely slow. Our readiness is heavily impaired. And if it continues like this, we will not reach the Army of Virginia in time. Our unit is now unready, but I hope that we are still able to pursue an offensive operations. The Army of Virginia is now also suffering. And we can see that the 2nd Division is getting ready to cross once more. And there we have the engagement that we were waiting for. About 3,900 Union troops with the support of 600 cavalrymen and 14 artillery pieces are going to face off against 2,400 Confederates with the support of 3 guns. Today is February 23rd, 1862. Our scouts report that the enemy is near Rockville, Maryland, and our army is preparing for battle. We are facing the Army of Virginia under command of William J. Hardee with strength of some 3,000 soldiers and 3 artillery pieces. The enemy army is green and the morale is reported to be confident. Reports indicate that the supply situation is outstanding. The supply state of our army is outstanding as well. Our soldiers are ordered to move forward around Moorland and then we're going to push over the river and we are going to get in contact with our enemy. My plan for now is that we are going to send some of our forces across this road while other forces are going to try to flank the enemy around their northern flank. We can see that the enemy has multiple strong regiments on the battlefield. They're sending detachments out. They have the 1st Florida, the 10th South Carolina and the 19th Georgia Regiment, and their support with the 1st South Carolina Battery. Once our soldiers have reached the battlefield, we're going to send detachments or skirmishers out to occupy the attention of our enemies and get our soldiers across. Our artillery is going to set up over here, our infantry is going to take position over here with a flanking force over on this side. With that we should hopefully overpower our enemy. And without us even firing a single shot, the enemy decided to withdraw. Well, officially we can claim victory at Rockville as the Army of Virginia is on the retreat, but in reality nothing really happened. It is a real shame that we couldn't deliver a killing blow to our enemies. And as it currently looks like, it is going to be wiser for us to retreat further to Washington as our readiness is completely destroyed. The Army of Virginia is suffering some casualties and we are going to keep them in contact until they have to withdraw for good. After that we are going to withdraw and we are going to try to link up with the 2nd Division and we are going to recapture Alexandria. But of course, if the 2nd Division is quicker, they might be able to capture the army of Virginia, and then we can deal a lot more damage to our enemies. In this fight we are gaining a large amount of prestige. We're now up to 3,500 points, but we are slowly running out of money. And there must be some way that we can improve our readiness and make sure that our soldiers can move faster. It feels like the Confederate army can easily outmaneuver us. And we are informed that more weapons are available. The weapons order of 30 pieces of 40-pounder James rifle has been accomplished, and those weapons are now available in depots. And we can see that we are now routing some of the enemy force. They're down to 1,975 soldiers, they have over 600 casualties. And we're dealing a lot more damage to our enemy than in active combat. We see that the 1st division of the Army of the Peninsula is coming up. And we can see that multiple Confederate armies have dug in around this area and around this crossroad. This supply station officially is still in our hands. Further to the south we can see that we have still some forces on the field, and also that this supply station of Akia Harbor is in our hands, and the enemy is coming to Washington. We are going to send our forces south. Let's hope they arrive in time and that we can prevent another disaster. Once we have reached Washington, we are going to regroup. We are going to refill our ammunition supplies, and then we are marching down to Alexandria. Unless of course we are not going to be supported, as the enemy armies are quite strong and we cannot take them alone. The Lee's division alone numbers over 10,000 soldiers. And we are not going to be able to arrive in Alexandria in time. The enemy army fields over 3,900 soldiers with more reinforcements en route. Now they're up to 13,000, while Major General William H. Keim only has 3,200 soldiers available, meaning that we are now facing the disaster of Alexandria and the 2nd Division is withdrawing. More units are trying to cross, and it looks like we are going to get into the next battle. In total we have only 10,300 forces available, while the enemy has over 13,000. It is the 1st March 1862. Our scouts reported that the enemy is near Long Bridge, Virginia, and our army is preparing for battle. We are facing the Army of the Peninsula under command of John B. Magruder with strength of some 4,000 men and 6 artillery pieces. The enemy army is green and the morale is reported to be determined. Reports indicate the supply situation is outstanding. The supply state of our army is outstanding as well, but we know for a fact that the enemy is going to get a lot more reinforcements. We can see that some of the enemy forces have dug in these forests, while the majority is concentrated around Pierce Mill. And for now I'm going to order our soldiers south into the area of the Aneri Chapel. From there we are going to decide how to move further. Hopefully there we can link up with our remaining forces, and let's also hope that the Confederates are doing something stupid and wasting a lot of manpower. And we can see right here that more of the enemy forces are coming up. We have the Army of the Peninsula and the Army of the Shenandoah now entering the battlefield. Elements of our reinforcements are marching down the Milkhouse Ford Road, and they're about to link up with our forces. We're going to see how they're going to advance from there, and we are going to follow our allied forces. The first parts of our own forces have arrived, and there are our reinforcements linking up with us. And it looks like they're marching down the Braden's Mill Road. Let's send our forces south as well and make sure that we support our friends. It looks like our reinforcements are going to engage the enemy alongside the Argyle Mill. Let's try to get our forces over here so that we can flank them from the Pierce Mill. Hopefully they're going to hold back until we arrive, otherwise this will result in a massive rout. We can see that our reinforcements are setting up for battle. Our forces are still on the road. And the Confederate forces are starting to get on the move. For now, the plan is simple. Our militia brigade is going to take over this section, trying to cover this crossing, while the New Jersey brigade is going to cover our flank. Artillery is going to set up behind us on this hill. And this should hopefully give us the option to deliver some devastating counter-battery fire. But for now, it is going to take some time until all of our forces are present. And wherever possible, I'm going to send out some skirmishers. To deliver some more fire on the enemy. The 1st Ohio Cavalry is coming up. I would love to send them forward to attack Haggart's detachment. But I'm also worried that we are going to get massacred from the 22nd Georgia. Enemy artillery is on the move. And over here we can see that more of our allied forces are setting up. Our artillery is making its way during the woods. And our infantry is coming up over this area. And rifle fire has started to crackle over here. The 5th Illinois with 900 soldiers is in contact with the 11th Mississippi. They only have 200 soldiers, while the 5th Illinois has over 900. The men from Illinois are outflanked, and the 1st South Carolina Cavalry is coming up, together with even more forces. Let's hope they're getting reinforcements, otherwise this strong unit is going to be routed before the battle can even begin. McLean's detachment is coming up, and we have lost eyes on the 1st detachment that we assault. I want McLean's detachment to move forward and deliver some hits on the enemy artillery line. Maybe this will result in some nice casualties for them. They only have 4 artillery pieces and 47 soldiers. With some luck, some good early hits are going to break their morale. Luckily, the river is also not frozen anymore, meaning that this crossing is the only actual way that the enemy can pass through. Unless, of course, they go all the way down around Pierce and Walbridge. Our skirmishers are setting up. They delivered their first volley, but weren't able to actually hit the enemy. But maybe they're able to pursue and hit the 16th Georgia. Every hit that we can deliver is a good one. Over here, Scollon's detachment is setting up, and we can see that the 32nd Virginia is coming up. Our men from New Jersey are still marching forward, and our artillery also has problems to set up. But we are inflicting our first casualties. It looks like the majority of the Confederate army is deciding to move on Argyle Mill. While over here more parts of the Confederate army are hanging back. The 32nd Virginia is on the battlefield. Scollon's detachment is in contact, and we are now going to see some casualties on the enemy. Third New Jersey is now also coming up, and the enemy is setting up with artillery. Our artillery line is starting to get up there. 2nd New Jersey move forward, get on the enemy flank together with the 41st Virginia. The 1st Kentucky, I want them to move further down here. We are going to need every soldier on the field as quickly as possible. I want the skirmishers from New Jersey militia to be recalled. They have the far better range, and we now need more firepower. And we are ordered to engage the enemy alongside the line that we are already in. Very good. Artillery is coming up. These are 14-pounder James rifles. I want them to focus on the regiment's howitzers if somehow possible. The 3rd New Hampshire battery is also coming up together with our 24-pounder howitzers. If possible, this battery is going to set up over here to deliver flanking fire on these forces. And our howitzers from Columbia are still en route to their target. I want them to set up over here, if possible, to deliver fire support. The 3rd New Jersey militia is already wavering. The 4th is delivering fire, very good. And I want our soldiers from Ohio to march down. 3rd New Jersey is now in contact with cavalry. They are routing. Only 107 cavalrymen are there. I want our men from New Jersey to advance and to drive them back. We are inflicting some good casualties. 1st Kentucky, move forward. And these men from New York also need to move forward together with the 2nd New Jersey infantry. We have a good position on the enemy flank. McLean's detachments still cover our flank. And I want the 1st Ohio to engage our enemy. We have over 620 horsemen. We should be able to deal with those horses quickly. I don't know why they're rushing in melee. I thought they're going to shoot at the enemy. But still, we should have the clear advantage over our enemy. And we can see that the regiment howitzers are falling back. But over here, the 2nd New Jersey is now also wavering. I'm going to order them to fall back under fire. And we were able to drive back the enemy cavalry. Now, horsemen, get out of danger. They took 34 casualties. They are wavering. And we can see that the enemy still has reserves over on this side of the river. But they are taking a lot of casualties over on this section. Very good. Flanking fire is now getting dished out quite effectively. And I want the 1st Kentucky to move forward. Artillery is still struggling to set up. But some of our forces are starting to engage the enemy. How is the situation further to the north looking? The enemy is right now dueling our guns. And the majority of our infantry has withdrawn on the other side of the river. First Kentucky is now wavering. It is one of their first combat operations. Let's make sure that they're not going to run away. First North Carolina is trying to withdraw. And they are now routed. Very good, very good. First Kentucky, take over these rifles. These artillery pieces. Rest of our forces need to move forward. And I want the 4th New Jersey to move up over here. These James rifles are setting up. I want them to open up on the 7th Virginia battery. And the same should go for... Well, actually no. I want our other artillery pieces to move forward over here to hit the enemy in the rear. These howitzers are going to move up, and we are going to cross the river very soon. Our cavalry has also withdrawn. They are panicked, but let's hope that they are going to regain their strength as they withdrawn to our headquarters. And we can see that the 13th South Carolina with 700 soldiers and the 22nd Georgia with 880 soldiers are holding up over here. The 7th Virginia is also holding up. They are now taking some artillery fire. And I wonder if our men from the 4th New Jersey State Militia can hit and silence those artillery pieces. They have the spring-fed rifled musket. They have some good range. And hopefully this is going to be enough. The rest of the Confederate army is still holding up over here. And I wonder if we should dare to cross the river while the enemy is still on our flank. I want the 1st New Jersey militia to take up position over here, while the 31st is going to take position along the Pierce Mill, and the 2nd New Jersey is going to take position over here. They are quite exposed, but I hope that our artillery support from those James rifles and those howitzers are going to make sure that they're not getting annihilated. 1st Kentucky is also ordered to move forward, and the 3rd New Jersey is going to take position on the flank of the enemy. 2nd New Jersey also needs to move forward. And over here, the 4th New Jersey militia is also moving forward. Miller's detachment took 2 casualties, but enemy artillery is starting to waver. Haggett's detachment took over some artillery pieces, meaning that we definitely did some damage. And we are hitting the enemy. Over here, a unit under the 1st North Carolina is on the retreat. Our cavalry is back on the field. They are still quite unstable, but we are doing some damage to our enemy. With our forces starting to cross and the enemy army unwilling to move, we might be able to pincer them. But this is of course only possible as long as these forces are still on the battlefield. And if you hear something clunking against my windows, there's currently a massive hailstorm going on outside. HQ get further forward. The same goes with the HQ of the 3rd Brigade. Has the enemy decided to move yet? No, they haven't. Very good. Very good. New Jersey Brigade. I want you to move forward and take this hill. Artillery support is coming up, and currently the enemy is unwilling to actually engage us. Flanking fire from our artillery is hopefully good enough. Let's order these James rifles forward just a little bit, and let's also, once they're in position, order them to deliver counter battery fire. These howitzers should be in a good position to deliver accurate flanking fire, but they also need to get forward just a little bit more, as their range ends at the beginning of our battle line. Over here, this detachment captured some Parrott rifles. They're also going to be sent forward. And the 1st New Jersey militia is holding our flank. We can see that Haggett's detachment got driven back, and the Winston's detachment has now taken over our artillery. 4th New Jersey State Militia, apparently their skirmishers got repelled. I'm going to order them out once more, and they're once again ordered to hit enemy guns. These artillery pieces are ordered on counter battery fire. I want their artillery silent, and I want it silent sooner than later. With every hit that we dish out to the enemy, also enemy infantry is going to take more and more casualties. We are now taking over the mill. This is very good for us. I want the unit from Kentucky to move forward on this section. And these men are marching up to the flank. Very good. There's a massive hell on our flank. I do not like that. But currently the Confederate army is not willing to move. To limit our casualties, I want our militia units to hang back for now, in case that we need to fall back. Over here, the 3rd New Jersey State Militia needs to get over there. They're going to protect our Parrott rifles that we captured. McLean's detachment is still delivering flanking fire. They're taking some hits. And our artillery is apparently able to dish out some damage. But looks like the 5th Virginia battery is now opening up on us. Counter battery fire is the name of the game. And it looks like Lean's detachment needs to get out of the way. I'm going to send them forward on this direction. This should open up a good field of fire for our soldiers. And if our howitzers shift their attention a little bit further to the north, they should actually be able to hit enemy infantry. Miller's detachment is able to hit Winston's detachment. Their artillery already took 7 casualties. And the 3rd New Hampshire battery is doing an amazing job. We are still looking at a minor defeat over here. The 4th Delaware battery is getting repelled. They have taken 12 casualties and given up their artillery. The same goes with the 5th Delaware battery. And the infantry has withdrawn further to the northeast. This day is going to end soon. We have successfully destroyed enemy batteries, meaning that the 3rd New Hampshire can now focus on fire as well and deliver as much damage to our enemies as they can. Do we still have... No, we do not have any more militia detachments that we could send out. We could send out the 1st. Maybe we are able to hit some of the enemy flank. I'm worried about these forces, but I'm also unwilling to engage all of our forces at once, as we would be completely exposed. We do not know if the enemy has rifles or smoothbore muskets. And I would much more appreciate if our soldiers don't die. However, I'm going to send the 4th New Jersey militia forward a little bit, in case that the 13th South Carolina or these cavalrymen are starting to hunt our men. I'm also going to send the 1st Ohio Cavalry over with their Smith carbines. They should also be able to deliver some good flanking fire. Wise's brigade is suffering from low cohesion, even though they only suffered 47 casualties. And we are receiving news that Miller Jr. is low on ammunition. They still have 11 rounds left. Once they're completely out of ammunition, I'm going to call them back. And over here we can see that... What is it? Well, it is either enemy artillery or an enemy artillery detachment. Doesn't matter, they're already wavering. Haggett's detachment is coming up trying to take over artillery again. Once again, 3rd New Hampshire battery, do your thing. Nope. We are currently unable to hit the battery. It doesn't matter, the day has right now ended. And now I'm sure we're going to face the majority of the Confederate Army. As the next day approaches, I have decided to gamble a little bit. We have the option to deploy everywhere within this blue line. And I've decided to take over the high ground along Pierce's Mill Road. That is also overlooking our objective point. We have a battery of 24-pounder howitzers covering everything that is going on this hill. We have the New Jersey Brigade over here covering our flank with Stevens' detachment and 10-pounder Parrots trying to fire on the enemy. We also have the 4th New Jersey State Militia holding up over here and the 2nd New Hampshire Battery covering this front line. To cover this side of the battlefield, we have the 3rd New Hampshire Battery and our Militia Brigade in position, together with a detachment of skirmishers and our dismounted Ohio Cavalry to cover our northwestern flank. Let's hope that the enemy is not already encircling us and that this defensive position is going to give us the edge that we need. And we can already see that the enemy has deployed in front of us. Many of them are outflanked. Let's hope that this is going to result in massive casualties. We can see that our howitzers are opening up fire. The HQ of the 5th Brigade is cut off from their main force. And we can see that apparently no Confederate forces are on our flank. The 1st New Jersey State Militia are in the best shape. And we can see that some forces from Mississippi are trying to flank us. Let's get the forces out and engage at will. Skolum's detachment and the 2nd New Jersey State Militia, who already took a couple casualties, are going to hang back. And right now we are officially losing control of the Pierce's Mill, but the 11th Mississippi should be simply slaughtered and then be falling back. Over here, more enemy forces are approaching. Cavalry, get ready. We can see that Winder's detachment is coming up, and over here, Hindman's detachment are already under pressure. We can see a large amount of enemy movement. And apparently the 11th Mississippi is trying to charge our guns. They only have 166 soldiers, and I want the 1st New Jersey to charge them. Over here the 2nd New Jersey is already wavering. I'm going to send the 1st Kentucky further on the enemy flank. And the 4th needs to relocate further to the south. This is going to leave our flank vulnerable. I'm going to send the Ohio Cavalry on the trench line. And yes, our men from New Jersey Militia were able to drive back the enemy. And now they can fall back. And High Command from New Jersey can fall back. More of our forces are withdrawing. I'm going to mobilize our last reserves. This is not going to be a long battle, it seems. But we're going to give it the best that we can. This detachment is also ordered on our flank. And otherwise we only have the 2nd New Jersey still on the field. Let's get them forward. The 1st is now also wavering. But they have some good cover. Hopefully they can hold out until reinforcements arrive. 3rd New Jersey is now also wavering. 1st Kentucky, open fire. Cavalry move forward. 3rd New Jersey is getting hit by a cavalry charge. Yeah, it looks like that this plan didn't work out. The majority of our forces have withdrawn to this side of the river. I was honestly hoping for a little bit more of support. But we can't change that now, can we? Let's get Miller's detachment forward. Over here, Stevens' detachment with the artillery is routing. The 15th Virginia is opening up on our men from Kentucky. And I need the 1st Ohio to move forward and on the flank of the enemy. We have the 4th New Jersey still opening up on the enemy. And it looks like for the moment we can somewhat hold them back. 1st New Jersey State Militia now also broke. The 2nd is everything that we have left on this flank. And it feels like that this Campbell has now lost us the battle. Miller's detachment needs to focus on this side, otherwise they are completely outflanked. And we can see that the enemy is sending more and more forces forward. Come on, man, we need to hold out. Over here the enemy is starting to outflank us. We can do nothing else but open fire, and I hope that these soldiers would get back on the field. And it looks like we were able to drive off the 1st enemy attack wave. These men now need to get forward to hit the enemy artillery. Our horses are able to hit the enemy infantry, and over here Miller's detachment is still able to open up on enemy soldiers. The 2nd New Hampshire battery is now also taking casualties. And we have enemy forces moving up in these woods. Over here another detachment is on our flank, but currently not actively shelling us. And another enemy attack has started. I'm going to order these men to fall back. And the 4th New Jersey is needed over here. Charge up, man. Close the distance as quickly as possible. And these skirmishers need to hit the enemy artillery detachments. These horsemen also need to get forward and maybe deliver some hits. We can see that enemy cavalry, the 3rd Virginia, is coming up, but it looks like they're severely under strength. They only have 71 men left. The 5th Louisiana is coming up. And our horsemen are wavering. They are ordered to get forward and into cover, but it looks like they are now might be falling back. Come on, Commander. You need to rally your soldiers. We cannot allow the enemy to rout us. 3rd New Jersey is falling back. We have some forces still on the field. Over here only some detachments can still hold the line. And over here the 2nd Arkansas is coming up. They have over 800 soldiers. And I don't think that we have the option to repel this attack. But I also do not know if we can get out of here. Where's our high command? Some soldiers are wounded in action. The commander of the 2nd New Jersey Militia is wounded. And Scollum's detachment is now also fleeing the field. We are unable to order retreat. At least not from the entire battlefield. But if possible, I still want our soldiers to fall back. We're going to try to get out of this situation and to regain our strength in the woods. Hopefully we can make that without completely shattering our forces. Because the stress over here is getting far too big. Second New Jersey is once again stable. I'm going to send them forward. Maybe they can make sure that not all of our forces are breaking immediately. And we need to hope that we can make this breakout. Come on, HQ, move back. And the enemy is now storming our trench. Miller Jr.'s detachment is unwilling to move. The same goes for these batteries. And our allied forces are still sitting idle. We are now suffering a minor defeat, and I would be very grateful if High Command would order us to fall back. The second New Hampshire battery needs to move back. Come on, man, limber up, move, 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 move. You are about to get captured. Over here, the third New Hampshire battery is also trying to get back. And the 1st Carolina is going to be sent in to hopefully deliver some time for our retreating artillery. The same goes with the 2nd New Jersey Infantry. And there our artillery routed. The rest of our artillery has a hard time to fall back. And this battle is effectively over for us. I want our soldiers to not move on the roads. And I'm ordering everyone to fall back even further. Hopefully we are able to break out and get on this side of the river. And hopefully we are not going to suffer a major defeat from this. Also, if possible, I want everyone to move on the double. We need to break off contact as quickly as possible. The men from Kentucky are dishing out a good amount of damage, but they are completely outnumbered, especially if they stay for longer. Currently there are only detachments battling them. But this is not going to stay this way for long. The majority of the Confederate force is currently holding back. And we are slowly starting our retreat. But apparently it still takes some time for the orders to arrive. Let's increase time. And if nothing more happens, we are going to cut directly into the defeat stream. Come on, man, why are you still on the field? Okay, we were able to defeat the enemy detachments. Still, these forces are still on the field, even though I ordered them to withdraw. Come on, man, now. Get back, get back, get back. And if I give every one of you a personal order, I will do that. 5th Brigade is apparently completely broken. They do not have any men remaining. They have 6 losses. Either this brigade was completely underflanked before, or this information is wrong. Let's get these soldiers back. Our artillery is limbered up. The 2nd New Jersey is still delivering some cover fire. Can the 1st Kentucky send out some skirmishers? No, they cannot. We are far too close to the enemy line. 1st Kentucky, deliver fire, drive them back. Very good. And thanks to our heavy flanking fire, the 11th Mississippi is falling back with a ton of casualties. They're now down to 96 men. And more enemy forces under Wilcox are approaching. Let's retreat bit by bit. The 11th Mississippi still has the goal to attack our artillery line, even though that regiment is about to be completely annihilated. Now they are finally broken and falling back. Come on, artillery, move back. I want you to be over the river at this point. Well, let's quickly have a look on the casualties so far. So far we can see that the Union suffered 187 killed, 606 wounded and 229 missing soldiers. In total, 1022 casualties are reporting, meaning that 9% of all force are lost. The Confederate side, on the other side, suffered 500 killed, 1007 wounded, 298 missing, in total 1805 of their soldiers. In total, 12% of their entire force are lost, meaning that even though we have suffered greatly in this battle, so far our casualties are a lot lower than those of the Confederacy. Let's try to continue our retreat. and maybe gather some of our soldiers along the way. Over here, the 4th New Jersey State Militia has regrouped. I'm going to send them forward over here in case that our soldiers need support. Ohio has also regrouped. Let's get them forward. And the 1st New Jersey State Militia is also back on the field. Our HQs are scattered all over the battlefield. I am still sending them backward. They are still moving. And luckily our artillery made it out, but we have lost all of our artillery pieces. We can see that the Confederates have stopped attacking us. And in total their movement has also stopped. This battery is trying to get back, but it has some serious problems. They are apparently stuck behind a tree. Come on, men, try to move around it. I do not want to give you up. Do you have to move up over there and then try to retreat? I don't know. Wilcox detachment is still on the field fighting back. Let's send the men from Kentucky forward to deliver some fire and to drive this detachment back. Our HQs are still falling back. Everything is going far too slow. 3rd New Jersey is still withdrawing. Let's get forward again, as we can see that the Confederates are sending out more forces. Horse detachment is now coming up, and our artillery is finally getting out of their problem zone. First Kentucky took 78 casualties. The detachment from Wilcox took only 9, and we are still fighting. The HQ of the 5th Brigade took some artillery fire together with the 3rd New Hampshire Battery. And finally our artillery line is withdrawn. The 4th is now also coming up again. And we are slowly rebuilding our battle line. And if the enemy forces over there remain still and standing, we might get an opportunity to hurt the enemy a little bit more. Hackett's detachment over here is fighting, and it looks like the 3rd New Jersey has withdrawn all the way down there and are letting themselves get slaughtered by the 13th South Carolina in the river, and they're unwilling to move anywhere. Our artillery is once again stuck. And I've decided to send the 3rd New Jersey Militia forward again. Or better not. No. Forget what I said. I want our soldiers to withdraw, and therefore I need to prepare for a withdrawal. These artillery pieces apparently need an extra invitation. Maybe they will move down here and then down here if you deliver new orders. And as long as these guns are not out of the way, the 1st Kentucky still needs to stay on the field. 41st New York is still broken, unable to be commanded. The same goes for those artillery pieces. Over here, the 2nd District of Columbia Battery has withdrawn. At least we can get some experienced artillerymen out. It is now 11 o'clock. These guns are finally getting out of the foliage. And we have driven back this detachment. 2nd New York, open up on this detachment. And we need to preserve some of our strengths. We have Haggart's detachment and the 22nd Georgia down here together with the 1st Georgia Cavalry. The crossing is over there, meaning that we will most likely have to engage with those forces. The artillery is still not getting a move on. Come on, man, limber up. And start to retreat, man. We can see that the 11th Mississippi is coming up once more. They only have 84 men left. And it looks like they're trying to get on the flank of our men from Carolina. From Kentucky. Come on, man, focus on the larger unit. The men from New Jersey are still hunting the skirmishers. And over here, the men from Mississippi are once again withdrawing. Now it is also time, as our artillery is falling back, to send the men from Kentucky to fall back. And it looks like we might finally be able to move down to our new objective. I want our artillery to move up down here, together with all the remaining forces that are not necessary to cover our retreat. I'm also getting the HQs down. And it is now about time that we also order our men from Kentucky to fall back and the 2nd New Jersey to fall back. The 1st Ohio is going to stay behind to deliver some more fire on the enemy whenever possible. Wilcox's detachment is still on the field. They haven't suffered a single casualty. And I'm about willing to send our cavalry forward to hit the 11th Massachusetts with a couple of volleys. This should hopefully rout this unit off the field for good. And in fact, I'm going to order a charge. Let's hope that we're getting them before they can get back to their main line. This was a mistake. We are far too close. Man, retreat, 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 retreat. We have dished out a couple of casualties and the 11th Mississippi are falling back. How many men do they have remaining? Only 52. Yeah, I guess it is pretty safe to say that this regiment is done for. Let's now also get our cavalry backwards, and these soldiers can fall back as well. We're now looking at a minor defeat. The artillery over here from Delaware is taking hits. They do not have a single artillery piece left, and the Confederate forces are still hitting the 3rd New Jersey Infantry that is unwilling to move. They're still doing some damage to the 13th South Carolina, but they only have 129 men, and I would much rather see them outside of the battlefield. Unfortunately, the 2nd New Hampshire Battery and the 31st New York, as well as the 2nd New Jersey Militia, are still unwilling to get back under our command. Over here, the 3rd New Jersey, for some reason, is still standing. They still haven't withdrawn. And the 13th South Carolina is taking some more casualties. If this continues, the 3rd New Jersey is going to be completely slaughtered. And they are now low on ammunition. These men still take their sweet time to withdraw. And down here I am going to prepare our battle line. These men can do nothing, they have lost their artillery pieces. The majority of our forces are going to be from our militia units. And I want the 2nd New Jersey to take position over here, while the 1st Kentucky is going to take position on this side of our field. For now we officially still have 3,000 soldiers under our command, but we lost almost 950. And I simply hope that our command is going to order a retreat once the night is falling in, so that we can get out of this battle with a minor defeat. The 3rd New Jersey is now down to 186 soldiers, and they're getting attacked from multiple regiments. Still, they do not see a reason to withdraw over the river. Come on, men, all move on the double. We need you on this attack down here. The 4th New Jersey Militia is, for some reason, engaging the enemy on short range. Let's get the men forward. 1st Ohio, you're going to march up over here. The HQs need to give up. And these men are going to be our rear guard, and they're going to march up over on this flank. And fighting over here has stopped. The 3rd New Jersey infantry is finally withdrawing. They took over 140 casualties. And it looks like the Confederate army might now start to push over the river. Our target is going to be to silence Haggett's detachments and to destroy the 22nd Georgia and to drive back the 1st Georgia Infantry. Let's get the men forward for this task. Artillery is going to set up over here. And infantry support as well as our cavalry is coming up. Fighting begins. We are outflanking our enemy. And these forces are still on the move. And we can now see that the enemy is sending reinforcements. Definitely not what I was hoping for, but we need to get these forces out of the way so that we can actually pass the river unopposed. Artillery, get ready to shoot, and soldiers move forward on the enemy flank. These forces need to charge up. And with that we might be able to outflank and destroy a sizable portion of the enemy army, or at least able to drive them back. These forces are still unable to get back under our command. A real shame. The enemy cavalry got repaired. These units are falling back. Very good. Let's get the 1st New Jersey Militia forward. And our artillery is now starting to shoot on the enemy. The 3rd New Jersey Militia is taking some casualties. And I'm going to send our cavalry forward to also open up on the enemy. They should have a high range of fire. And we are forcing the enemy to fall back. Very good. But now our cavalry needs to fall back. Otherwise they will be completely annihilated. The 3rd New Jersey is now also falling back. 22nd Georgia is coming up. I want our cavalry to retreat further. And over here, our reinforcements are finally coming up. We were able to drive back Winston's detachment. Let's slow down time for now. And see if the enemy is moving up. We have enemy forces in our rear, but they are luckily routed cavalry. The enemy is holding up around their HQ, around their objective. 1st Carolina, 1st Kentucky is coming up. I don't know why I always misspell that. So these units need to engage on long range. And we can now start to hit enemy artillery positions. Well, let's just order them on the offensive. Maybe this is going to get these soldiers to move the way that we need them. We are starting to hit the enemy quite well. We can see that the 13th South Carolina is coming up. Hackett's detachment took 3 casualties. They should be driven back shortly. And the men from South Carolina try to stop our advance. Come on, man, move forward. You need to get into battle. You are the last line of defense that we actually have. We are inflicting a bunch of casualties, but if our casualties start to rise even further, we will need to withdraw into the forest line. Come on, man, on the double. Move up, move up. Enemy cavalry has almost regathered their strength. And our own cavalry got driven back. They are unable to be commanded. And these militiamen are now also starting to waver. I'm going to order them to fall back and to try to get them outside of the enemy fire. Our artillerists are still opening up on the enemy, and our cavalry is now back under command. I'm going to send them on the flank. And over here the 3rd is now also be able to be commanded again. I need to send them forward. And hopefully the men from Kentucky and the 2nd New Jersey finally make it to the battlefield. These enemy detachments are a huge problem that are now coming up. Fall back under fire, men. Fall back under fire. Our artillery needs to focus on this group in particular. And I'm going to send the 1st Ohio forward to hopefully outflank and drive back this unit. Well, we delivered some hits and they are now pulling back. Let's get the men out of there before they break. And the 1st Kentucky is almost here. Finally. Let's get the 2nd also forward. And have our other men regained their strength? No, they have not. We now have 17 o'clock. Nightfall should set in soon. Enemy ammunition supply is running low. And the Confederacy has not moved on this side of the river. Let's hope that if we are not retreating in the night, we finally get the option to link up with our men again. Our cavalry needs to move up on the enemy flank once more. And the headquarters of the militia brigade needs to move back behind our lines. 2nd New Jersey is coming up, and the 22nd Georgia is now taking flanking fire from our cavalry, and it is the end of the day. During the night we were finally able to get our soldiers on the other side of the river, but we weren't able to link up with our forces. And we can see that Confederate forces have during the night also started to push over the river. We can also see that our remaining forces stayed where they are. And our mission for now is to get back to our main line. Meaning that for now I'm going to send our forces over here. And then we are going to look how we can move further. Our artillery is able to open up on enemy forces, but there are more enemy forces now coming up. It looks like they might overrun our allied forces before we can link back up with them. And our men are finally on the move. Our commander should not use roads. But let's make sure that we actually do this now again. I want our men to march up over there, using this road, and then descend down on the enemy over this flank. If you use this road, we will run straight into a superior foe. And we can see that the first parts of our army are already breaking. I wonder if we are actually able to get back to our main line. And why some of our forces are deciding to simply stay back. Come on, man, why aren't you moving? You do not have any artillery. Well, these men need some extra invitations and they can now move. Our forces are now marching up and I want them to set up over on this section. The enemy army is battling our soldiers and they're retreating to this side of the battlefield. Maybe we can get on the enemy flank if our soldiers move quick enough. Our completely exhausted brigades are coming up. And the enemy is still pushing forward, driving our allied forces over the river, meaning that we are once again cut off from our line. Let's try to set up something over here. I want our 3rd brigade to set up over here. The New Jersey Brigade is ordered to... Why am I not seeing the fence line that I want to position on? Is ordered to move up over on this section. And our Militia Brigade, where is the High Command of that? Is going to take position over here. They should hopefully give us a good defensible high ground. And maybe the option to push into the enemy flank. Or at least to hold out until we can finally withdraw and end this madness. New Jersey Brigade is coming up. We can see that the 2nd Texas Battery is on the field together with the 8th Georgia. Some of their regiments have already been quite depleted. So let us try and deliver the killing blow. The HQ needs to keep up. And our artillery is going to set up over here to cover the field of fire to make sure that we can hit the enemy during the retreat. We're now ordered to engage the enemy during this position that some of our regiments are already in. And over here our soldiers are moving up into a defensive posture. 3rd New Jersey, you need to hit the 12th Georgia. And I don't know why the unit from Kentucky is marching so far forward. No way to get them out of the fire now. This enemy battery is almost destroyed. And of course the field of fire of most of our soldiers is blocked. Yeah, the 1st Kentucky, it looks like they are going to break soon. Our artillery line is now set up. And these men need to move forward a little bit. Maybe they can then hit the enemy again. And it looks like we have completely annihilated this battery. And our soldiers from Kentucky can now fall back under fire. This should open up the field of fire for the 2nd New Jersey, allowing us to slaughter some more of their regiments. Very good fight. We can see that the 7th Alabama is withdrawing with 111 men. The 12th Georgia has 133. And the 8th Georgia has 100 soldiers left. Over here our soldiers are still under massive problems. And the enemy has they have 3 more regiments. And the Confederate Army have 3 more brigades over on our flank. Over here our front line is holding up. Johnson's detachment has captured some artillery pieces. And I'm simply going to hold back and hope that the enemy is going to tire themselves out. Our cavalry, however, can move forward. They might be able to catch some of the retreating enemies. It looks like our artillery is now also opening up. And I want our cavalry to engage the enemy flank. Maybe we can cause a rout. Very good. We are now engaging the enemy. They should be falling back. The 12th Georgia is falling back. And they are now opening up on our cavalry. To reduce the possible casualties, they are now ordered backwards. And our men are following the enemy. Over here the 8th Georgia is completely routed. Cavalry, move forward, give them the cold steel. Infantry, take care of the 12th Georgia. Make sure that these soldiers cannot engage our enemies. Cannot engage our horsemen. 8th Georgia is falling back. They have 14 men left. If we're able to hit them, we can surrender an entire enemy regiment. But it looks like they're getting out. Cavalry, hit the unit down here. Very good hit, very good hit. Our forces have trouble moving up there. Georgia is very disciplined, but they're down to 82 soldiers. I'm going to order another charge on the enemy flank. Come on, man. You can do this. Our cavalry was driven back, but so is the 12th Georgia. And they only have 49 men remaining. It is a bit of a shame, though, that they got to retreat. Over here I want 1st Kentucky to take position over on this ridge. 2nd New Jersey is also marching down. Together with the 51st New York Infantry. The 3rd is now also ordered further on this section. And the militia brigade is still going to hang back. we could try to engage those forces over here. And it looks like they only have a couple detachments. Tempting, tempting, very tempting to move over and attack those soldiers. Well, in that case, let's try to get our militia brigade moving. I want them to set up over here. We're going to hit Johnson's detachment first, and then we're going to push further south. The artillery I want to move up over here. This hill should give us a good field of fire. And our soldiers are almost out of ammunition. We can still hit the flank of some enemy forces. And I want our soldiers to, if possible, engage enemy artillery detachments. If we can silence their guns, we might have the options to shell the enemy into submission. The 1st Kentucky needs to fall back though. They are under direct rifle fire and they do not have the manpower needed to contest that. Over here more enemy forces are moving. 2nd New Jersey, do you have the strength to send out skirmishers? No, you don't. The 1st also... Well, let's find out. The 1st is strong enough to send out some skirmishers. Scollum's detachment needs to hit Johnson's detachment. The men from Kentucky have withdrawn. They can now send out skirmishers. They have a little bit longer range and they might be able to silence Hindman's detachment without getting under fire themselves. Over here our men are opening up on Johnson's detachment. And the 3rd New Jersey State Militia is down to 190 soldiers. I need to keep an eye out on them. The 4th is coming up. I want them to move up over here. And I'm also commanding their skirmishers. They're ordered to attack those artillery pieces. Who is withdrawing? It is the 2nd New Jersey Militia. They took a lot of casualties. Johnson's detachment only took 1 casualty so far, and they're still on the field. These skirmishers are able to hit the enemy together with the 2nd New Jersey. The 44th and the 3rd are also fighting. Our cavalry is getting back. I want them to move down. Or better, I want them to move up over here. Maybe they can hit the detachment and break them. And the 1st New Jersey can recall its militia. Miller's detachment is starting to waver. 3rd New Jersey move forward on that detachment. The 4th can move forward on Wilcox's detachment. And the 4th can also recall their skirmishers, so that our own artillery has the option to open fire. Over here we are having some success holding the enemy back. But this will not last forever. If we would have the option to recapture some enemy guns, this would be very good for us. But it doesn't look like there are some artillery pieces lying around. We have destroyed this artillery detachment down there. The 5th Virginia Battery is still on the field. They only have 23 soldiers and 1 artillery piece left. And I want the 1st New Jersey to move forward. Over here the 12th Georgia is back on the field with 49 soldiers, but they're extremely experienced. And our artillery can open up on the enemy. Wilcox's detachment is still on the field. They are quite good in holding us back. Johnson's detachment is over here, and it looks like the enemy is going to bring more artillery on the battlefield. Let's hope that some flanking fire from the 1st is going to break enemy resistance. And down here our cavalry is setting up to protect our flanks from enemy crossings. Situation down here is not looking good. We are taking casualties. Enemy artillery is not completely destroyed. It looks like we might have been able to destroy Heidmann's detachment. And we are able to outflank some of their forces, but we are still taking casualties. And there are many more artillery batteries of the enemy behind us. Now the 18th Georgia is coming up. And the 3rd New Jersey needs to open up on the enemy flank. I want our cavalry to move up and to hit the flank of the 18th Georgia. They should be able to do a little bit of damage before they have to fall back. And it doesn't look like that we can actually win this engagement. Wilcox is still on the field. The 3rd New Jersey is falling back. The 1st New Jersey is still there, but they're everything that we have left. We are finally hitting Wilcox's detachment. Our cavalry is still stable, but they are not stable anymore. Fall back, man. The 1st now also needs to fall back. Over here our regular infantry is still holding out. But the pressure is mounting as well. This detachment is about to be driven back. More of these men are taking heavy casualties. And this battle is lost. But we are still fighting. Wilcox's detachment is down to 63 soldiers. Our James rifles should hopefully have the option to destroy them. And our cavalry is now routing. Let's try to get the 1st Kentucky on the flank of the enemy. The rest of our soldiers are so low on ammunition that they can't actually do anything. Let's try to get back to this fence line. All of our soldiers are ordered to retreat under fire. And the 4th is going to follow last. Let's try to get our soldiers out of this situation. Down here we can still hold the enemy back, so I'm not willing to withdraw them. And the 1st Kentucky can deliver some fire. Let's get these skirmishers back a little bit more. And the 1st New Jersey State Militia is retreating directly into the enemy. Why ever they would do something like that. We can see that the 20th Georgia is coming up with over 760 soldiers. The 18th Georgia is on the battlefield. The 3rd New Hampshire Battery is trying to get back, together with the 4th New Jersey Infantry. I'm now also ordering the 3rd New Jersey Infantry to fall back, together with the 31st New York. They're still going to break once we make contact. Over here we were luckily able to drive back some of the enemy forces. They are now routing. At least some success. Our forces now try to hit the 15th Virginia. And maybe the 2nd New Jersey is able to hit the 2nd North Carolina Battery. I need to keep an eye out on them. If Wilcox's detachment is flanking them, these men need to fall back. Pickett's detachment also has artillery under their command. But at least we can do something on some front. Over here our artillery is struggling to get back. The 5th is the 4th New Jersey is also struggling to get back there. And yes, our artillery is now wavering. Let's hope that they can get back in time. The 1st Ohio is now able to get commanded again. I am going to order them to dismount and to get on the defensive line. These men struggle to get back. Let's hope they can make it in time. And it looks like we might be able to rout the 15th Virginia. It is now 17 o'clock. The next day is about to end. And it looks like these artillery pieces have been destroyed. Let's get the 2nd New Hampshire Battery forward. Maybe we can capture those artillery pieces and get them back behind our lines. And this day has now once more ended. A new day has begun and I don't know why we are still on the battlefield. Some of our allied forces are still somewhere present, but the majority of them have been defeated and withdrawn. The Confederate Army is still situated over here. I've sent the militia brigade to cover this flank and I sent the other forces over here because I was hoping that the enemy is trying to cross. And it looks like there is some leftover artillery that our own artillery crews might be able to commandeer. Let's try to get a hold of these guns if possible. But otherwise there's really nothing that we can do. The enemy is setting up over here. And I think the best thing that we can do for our soldiers is to retreat on this side of the river. I'm going to send the New Jersey Brigade forward to get position over here. And our militia brigade is going to duck in around this hill. We can see that enemy forces are approaching. Let's hope that our soldiers will make it in time. We can see that Confederate forces are already marching up. The 1st Georgia is coming up. Down here we have Hackett's detachment with some artillery and many more forces over here. Some of their forces are quite depleted. but our forces have suffered a lot more. Some parts of our 3rd Brigade are unwilling to move. Let's try to get the entire brigade moving. Orders are getting delivered and then they hopefully get back. We're now getting shelled by artillery. And let's hope that our defensive line is going to come together just in time so that we are not getting completely destroyed. Down here, Sullivan's detachment is having troubles getting control of the artillery. And we have captured some guns. Very good. These are 6-pounder field guns. Let's set them up and open up on the enemy. I want the 4th New Jersey State Militia to march up on this flank. And looks like the 7th Alabama is trying to come up. But they're now going to be under fire of our soldiers. They have only 84 men left. And they're going to be broken almost immediately. They are down to 72, and it is going to be a wonder if this regiment actually survives. More of their forces are now coming up. I want Stevens' detachment to guard the crossing. These men of the 51st can shoot, very good, and the men from Kentucky are needed to move up down here. 2nd New Jersey is able to open up on the enemy. Stevens' detachment can fall back. And we are able to inflict some casualties. 3rd New Jersey is on the risk of getting outflanked and destroyed. I'm going to retreat them. And the 2nd is marching down on the flank of the enemy. The massive force of the Confederate Army over here is still holding back. The longer they do that, the better for us. And somehow the 18th Georgia get over here. They have only 14 soldiers remaining. And our batteries over here are still standing idle. Come on, man, you do not have any artillery pieces left. 3 men are remaining in this regiment. The 8th Georgia should be destroyed after this fight. 12th Georgia has 47 soldiers. Let's get skirmishers out and order them forward to deal with them. Over here we are able to hit Wright's detachment and the 6th Georgia. The artillery that we captured should be out of range for the enemy and should be able to do a whole lot of damage. Over here the front line is still stagnant. And if these forces only attack us, we are able to at least do a lot of damage on them. The 12th Georgia is down to 35 soldiers. Stevens' detachment is outnumbering them and they only took 1 casualty so far. The 2nd New Jersey militia is able to hit the 6th Georgia in the flank. And the 32nd Virginia is holding back for now. Let's take a look on the casualties. So far we can see that the Union suffered over 2,400 losses while the Confederacy suffered 3,400 casualties. Both sides have lost over 22% of their total force. And I believe once any side has suffered more than 25% casualties, it counts as a major defeat. Now let us find out how many men we can cost the enemy. The casualties they sustained should hurt them a lot more than us in the long term. Our artillery is apparently unable to hit Wright's detachment, but they're able to hit these soldiers down here. We are low on long-range ammunition for those guns. And we can see that the rest of the Confederate forces are still sitting idle. And finally, some of our remaining soldiers are moving up. If we are actually able to defeat these soldiers, we can take over some of their artillery. The detachment of Stevens is down to 10 rounds, but the 12th Georgia is down to 23 soldiers. 6th Georgia is down to 470 soldiers. Wright's detachment took 7 casualties, they're still on the field. Come on men, open up. And we can see that the 5th Illinois is rushing forward. They are now rudely blocking our field of fire, it seems. The 7th Alabama is withdrawing with 46 men. The 12th Georgia is still there with 20. And the New Jersey Brigade didn't got any more ammunition. The enemy is not moving on this side of the field, therefore I'm going to rush the 4th New Jersey Militia forward and try to get on the enemy flank. We can now see that the 6th Georgia is falling back. And the 5th Illinois is now also about to fall back under heavy casualties. The men from Carolina need to... The men from Kentucky need to focus on the 7th Alabama. Very good. They need to make sure that our artillery line can retreat. Looks like their skirmish line got defeated. Let's get them forward to finish off the 12th Georgia. They have only 16 soldiers. This should be an easy win for us. Come on man, aren't you able to open fire? You should be in range. While these men are apparently unable to engage, I'm going to call them to fall back. And of course, as soon as they start retreating, they can open fire on the enemy. 32nd Virginia is battling the 5th Illinois. The 4th New Jersey is coming up. I want them on the flank. And we need to keep an eye out for these soldiers. They might hit our rear. Now, 1st Kentucky, are you able to get your skirmishers out once more? 12th Georgia is down to 10 men. You should be able to completely annihilate this regiment. And this battery should finally get over here. Our men from New Jersey are almost at their position. And they're now able to hit the enemy. Very good. Looks like they're able to hit the 3rd Virginia. And our detachment is hitting the enemy. Wright's detachment is over here with 30 soldiers. Let's get our soldiers from Kentucky forward. The majority of our force is out of ammunition, therefore I'm not going to engage them. But I would love to see these soldiers on the run. Kentucky needs to move forward. And these field guns can still hit some parts of the enemy. Wright's detachment is down to 29 soldiers. The 4th New Jersey is opening up. And we can see that the 5th Illinois is now also engaging the enemy. Kentucky move forward. and blast this artillery position out of there. Are these soldiers able to take over these artillery pieces? I do hope so. This would allow us to get a lot more firepower. These men need to shift further to this section. The enemy is now trying to come up. Artillery needs to move down. And these men need to move down as well. The 7th Alabama is contesting our line with 42 soldiers. We order to engage the enemy. And it looks like we were able to destroy the enemy artillery detachment. 320 soldiers are on this position. Come on, man, take over the guns. I know you want to. And I'm going to send the 3rd New Jersey over. They only have 155 soldiers. Bad idea. That was a bad idea. Let us order them to stand down. 7th Alabama is there with 39 men. They're hitting our artillery. That's rude. And we have been informed that Taylor is losing men. Alright, this is the artillery detachment that got repaired. And there we have the 7th Alabama running. I'd love to send our cavalry in to finish off the job, but I doubt that they are strong enough. Once the 4th New Jersey State Militia is in contact, I'm going to send Kentucky forward. And if possible, on the enemy flank. Come on, man, engage the enemy. You have the superior range. The 3rd Virginia should dwindle quickly. Let's hope that our soldiers are not running out of breath. And I'm going to send the 1st Ohio forward to hit the artillery detachment of Beauregard. 7th Alabama is still there. Do we have someone who still has enough men for skirmishers? No. None of our soldiers are strong enough to send out a skirmishing detachment. And we can see that the 5th Illinois over there is falling back. We are inflicting more casualties. The 3rd Virginia is falling back. And I'm now ordering our soldiers forward to hit Beauregard's artillery. They are outflanked, they are withdrawing, meaning that the 1st Ohio should have an easy time dismantling them. Very good, there are them routed. Come on, man, shoot them in the back. There are more enemy forces over there, we need to fall back. They have the 1st North Carolina with 270 soldiers, the 5th Louisiana with 430, and even more artillery. Our soldiers fought extremely well. I am now sending them back on their previous line. 1st Kentucky, you're marching back down here. And the 1st Ohio is also withdrawing. The same goes with the headquarters of the 3rd Brigade. And it is a massive shame that our artillery is unwilling to capture some enemy guns. As a matter of fact, one of our artillery batteries got driven back. I do not know where they ran to. But if possible, I would like to recapture those 6-pounder field guns. And we can now see that the enemy artillery is starting to open up. And now the 2nd New Hampshire was able to move and capture some guns. And we can see that the next enemy attack is starting to begin. Let's get the soldiers ready. and get the 1st New Jersey also down. They should be able to deliver some much needed fire support. 50th Virginia is coming up. Come on, man, retreat. These men are now broken, they are withdrawing. 18th Georgia is coming up over here. Anderson's attachment is coming up with even more artillery. Let's hope that we have the higher range than our enemy. Johnson's detachment is trying to capture artillery. 2nd New Jersey militia is able to open up. But we also do not have any more ammunition left. I can't send these forces on the flank because then nothing is going to protect this flank. But I'm willing to send the 4th New Jersey militia forward to hopefully finish off the 7th Alabama for good. Enemy detachments are able to capture artillery. And over here more enemy forces are coming up. 2nd New Jersey State Militia got beaten. And over here we have the 7th Alabama withdrawing. They're down to 30 soldiers. And even though I previously stated that I do not want to get outflanked, I don't think it really matters anymore. It is now 17 o'clock, the day is once more going to end, and we are now battling on this field for the better part of a week. Casualties are high, we are able to drive back another enemy artillery detachment. The 5th Virginia Battery is there, they are battling our forces. And the day has once more ended. Once more the battle is starting and I sent some soldiers into parapets to protect them a little bit. They are our most depleted soldiers. The rest of our soldiers are holding up on the river line. And the enemy forces are still present on the field. Over here it looks like the majority of their forces have pulled back. They have the 17th Georgia and the 9th South Carolina over here together with some batteries and cavalry. The majority of their forces are focused around this section. The 3rd New Jersey is actually able to hit the enemy artillery, and I'm also going to send the 4th New Jersey militia forward to hopefully silence the Virginia battery before they can do too much damage. Also, our artillery should be able to hit some of their forces. And I'm going to send the 1st New Jersey militia down as the majority of their forces seemingly have abandoned this side of the river. We can see that the rest of our allied forces are wavering. And there's really no point to keep this fight going. Still, we are battling on. And I want these artillery pieces to move forward a little bit. I wonder how much of a force we will still have after this battle. And some of our units are now routing because there are many units that are routing nearby. The Virginia battery is taking casualties, they're down to 1 artillery piece. Wilcox's detachment is on the field. Let's just hope that our soldiers will not break. Commander, rally your soldiers. And I'm going to speed up time to make sure that the inevitable comes a little bit quicker. And now finally we are retreating from the field. The morale of our soldiers got completely annihilated. and it is time to get off the battle. Still, we are able to inflict some more damage on the enemy. We were able to drive back another artillery battery. And we have finally withdrawn. There is something that has to be said about our combat effectiveness. We have suffered in total 3,680 casualties, while inflicting 3,900 on the enemy. And we accomplished that even though we were outnumbered by over 4,000 men. And here we got the news that we got defeated at Long Bridge. And Colonel Little loses face. Lieutenant Colonel McGowan also loses face. But at least the battle counts as a minor defeat and not as a major defeat. Unfortunately, this also means that we are unable to recapture Alexandria. And that our soldiers are suffering even worse. And if you take a look on the front lines, there's now a massive amount of red in Northern Territory. But this has to be it for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed this long battle, and until we meet again, I wish you all a great time.